my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Help!
Here,
Oh.
take my hand.
Ah!
Come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No! Get it away from me!
Take it. Take my hand.
Ah!
From G.A. Henty, author of Sturdy and Strong, and In the Hands of Cave Dwellers, comes this classic short story, White-Faced Dick, a tale of manhood and unlikely friendship. Published by Blackie & Son, it's accompanied by the maritime adventure, A Brush with the Chinese. This is a collection that's perfect for any fourth grader who's pure of mind and blood. White-Faced Dick and Another Story. A classic for the ages. Good morning, fine fellows. How are you on this Easter? Is it Good Friday? It is here in Australia anyway. It's probably, as Jim Cox said earlier, what did he say here? 34 members. Thank you so much, Jim Cox. Now that is what I call loyalty. Happy Good Friday, Aussies. Happy Thursday to the Americans. You guys have to wait for your Good Friday blessings. But it is Friday here, which means I don't have to go to work. So what I was thinking is I have 5 pages I want to show on the campaign page this June, which is fast approaching. Took a little too long on the old trading cards. It happens. We're moving past it. We're moving on. So I'm thinking I want to at least get to having all of the little highlights done, like the masks done on all 5 pages. We'll see how we can go. I don't have a deadline because I don't have to go to work. See what happens when you can just work on your comic? It's glorious. Speaking of glorious, Bo Biggs' initial comment. I like it. He can't hang around, but he said, have a good show to everybody. Bow. Jim Cox did sneak in first, even though he also says he won't be able to stick around as well. And no one can stick around. But we will honor him nonetheless. Is that Optimus Prime? Like steampunk style or something? Either way, shout out to Jim. We got Citizen Ronan in the house. Felix Sass, the link master. I have pinned the link to the sign up for Fractured Mind right there. Thank you for posting. We got Valley Law in the house. Lawyer extraordinaire, in-house solicitor for these YouTube worlds. And we need increasingly his advice is needed more and more as things happen on live streams that probably shouldn't. Things get said, probably shouldn't be articulated in public. And Valley Law is there to advise us to shut your mouth. Remember that video of the two lawyers who were like, we're the street lawyers, whatever. What's the word? Shut your mouth. Don't say anything. No comment. We got Dean in the house. Australian beer ads truly are truly something special. Indeed, they are. I should get that big ad as well. That's a good one. This big giant ad. That was a great one. We've got Dale A in the house. Good Friday. Cox, not Cox. Yeah, different kind of Cox, but beloved nonetheless. Snuggy Jr. in the house. 33 months. Or Jim Cox has beaten me by a month. Yes, I wasted a member chat for this. I would have read it anyway, Snuggy. Maundy Thursday commemorating the Last Supper. Is that a real thing? I had no idea. I've never heard of that. He says, yes, exactly. Yes, a lot of strange happening out there. The big ad is my favorite. Well, I've mentioned it now. I may as well bloody play it, because when else am I going to do it? Like I said, we've got no timeline, and already I'm procrastinating. I tell you, when you take even just a week off being in the zone, it is hard to get back. It's hard to get back into it. What is it? The big beer, not the gig, the big beer ad. Glorious. All right, it's only a minute long. Beautiful. All right, let me stop sharing this momentarily. I will share. Where is it? Yes, Carlton Draft, big ad. I mean, we were in awe when this came out. I still am. Take Dean's comment down. I played this before, but it's worth playing again.
It's a big ad, very big ad. It's a big ad, very. It's a big ad. My God, it's big. Can't believe how big it is. It's a big ad for Carlton Drafts. It's just so freaking good. It's a big ad, expensive ad. It's that better sense of
Yes, yes. Well done, Cub. Oh, Leonard Skinner. No, I do like a bit of Leonard, but let's not indulge. I must get to work. Where is it? There it is. And gotta hit StreamYard now. All right. So, what are the five pages? So I'm thinking we got this one, classic. Everyone, this is one of my most liked posts for the Lucent. Was the black and white art of this. Okay. This one, I mean, what's not to love? Fantastic. Double page spread. Might have to redo. I don't like how mangy this dog looks. I think I did that wrong. I'll figure that out. What else? Ooh, first page, classic Ella in the middle of actually starting to color this one. And this one here, which we worked on not too long ago. Got about half, maybe a bit over halfway through. Some things to do left. Is there another one? Oh yeah, this one here. But that one's already done, I think. In terms of, I'm talking about just these highlight bits here. And yeah, so I think we're good there. I've actually started to color that one as well, but I don't know, I might go back and rework that. So that's five pages. I think that's good enough for a campaign page. You need 5 pages, a couple of covers, something else. That'll do. It's happening in June, so I've got a month and a bit to get this all done. Hopefully, should be able to manage it. No problemo, maybe. We'll see how we go. But in the meantime, get tucked in, get stuck into work. What are you guys doing this? Was it Easter weekend? I didn't even remember that this was a thing. Mel was just like, "Oh, you know, it's public holiday." I never pay attention. Apparently, it's a long week, like a long weekend, 4-day weekend. Which just means I have to get more friggin' work done throughout the week. You don't actually get, you know, it's not like you get, well, you do get time off, but it just means you have to get all your work done. You have to get like 3 days work done in advance. That's at least what I have to do. Time stops and no man. Bancroft doesn't celebrate the Easter Bunny. Oh, I mean, I do for my kids. Yes. When you get to a certain age, and then Easter doesn't mean that much, and then it means a whole lot again when you have kids. So my kids already got some Easter bunnies from relatives, which I think is a bit, that's not cricket. That's a bit out of it, you know. It's not Easter yet. I have indulged in a hot cross bun already. So, you know, that was good. Although it was just a plain one. I don't know, do you guys even have hot cross buns in the States? I think it's a very kind of British thing. So yeah, we've done that. There might be some kind of Easter thing happening. Usually we'd have like an Easter lunch. I don't know. I think maybe that's what's happening. My stepmother, who usually does that, she's Orthodox Greek. So, you know, it's very important. She's gone away to Adelaide. So that's why it's going to be a bit low key around here. That's fine. It just means I get a lot of work done. Chocolate hot cross buns are the best, says Dean. Yeah, they are good. Do you heat them up? You go in cold. Because if you heat them up, it's a kind of a messy affair. But I think you kind of have to. I mean, it's in the word, hot cross. But it does get a bit out there. What are you working on, Dean? Are you working on the Embrace? I guess you would be. Yeah, hit them up. Yeah. No, I like the spice ones, you know, with the whatever's. I don't even know what's in there. They just taste like spices. These Americans have no idea what we're talking about. I assume that's a person. I'm going to assume it is back there. Yeah, the Embrace 2 doing some inking today. How far along are you? We're all eagerly awaiting second installment. Speaking of installments, Rini just shared the cover to one of the covers. I know she likes to do variants to Fiendish 3, which looks very cool. She's been like cranking out art lately, which is a good thing. More X-Thems coloring. X-Thems? Just over halfway done. It's hard to ink on my mobile Studio Pro, so I'm just going to finish the pencils until I get back to Australia. Where are you? I didn't even know you weren't in Australia. That's how out of the loop I am. I don't know nothing. He's in the US. Oh my God. What are you doing over there? I legit did not know. So it isn't even Good Friday for you. Dean eloping with Abby. That could be. Stranger things, you know. That's where everyone meets their partners now anyway. It's on the internet. God help us. Not me. I'm like, you know, like in The Matrix where he says he's born in Zion. That's me. I was born. I partnered up. Not before the internet, obviously, but it wasn't an online thing. We met in real life. At a party, actually. Going to Universal this week and Heroes Con before I go home. Oh, is that the one I was going to go to? Yeah, I think it was. I had hoped to go to Heroes Con and then just couldn't justify it. It was going to be many thousands of dollars. Oh, and the tax man came. I did my taxes last week, and they decided they're going to take a preemptive cut. How's that? So, like, we saw what you earned last year when you had that massive campaign. So we're just going to take out what we think you'll earn again based on last year with that massive campaign. I'll get it back in July, but still. Unless I somehow earn 75 grand US, I think that's going to happen. But it's interesting, actually, with taxes. The play a few quick rounds of poker to pay for the trip. You know, I used to do that back in the day. I remember I was going to France, and I went to my local, like we had a regular bi-weekly poker game. And I said to my friend, I said, well, you know, I'm going to France. He's like, how much is that costing? I said, it's about $5 grand. He said, cool, we'll just win $5 grand. And then it's all paid for. And then over the next 2 sessions, I won about 5.5. So I was like, perfect. Ah, those were the days. I tell you what. The days before the friggin'... That was back when we used to be called the most livable country on earth. If you can believe it. Seems like an eternity ago. They do that here in the US too. You don't have to pay them, but they fine you if you don't and you owe too much. Yes, I as well could have sort of said, oh, like done an adjustment. But I figure it's a couple of months anyway. And, you know, if I somehow do end up making a ton of money somehow, which I don't really see happening, especially with Fractured Mind being a much smaller offering, smaller live stream numbers, and anyway, at least then it's paid and taken care of. But No, I expect to be getting a refund. Although, because of it's funny how the tax year broke, I got all of the cash for Painted Death last year, and then I had all of the costs of making the book to deduct. So, that was that. But what I wasn't able to deduct were the shipping fees. And that was like 25,000 Australian or something ridiculous. It was crazy. So, but that was in this year's tax year. So I'm already starting right out of the gate. I'm already something like, 13 or so grand at a loss. So I figure, well, I mean, that actually could work out really well. So I can make about, I don't know, 13, at least 13 Australian on Fractured Mind that I don't have to pay tax on because I've already got the deduction. So it could end up working out really well. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows? The taxes in Australia are starting to get, they were already oppressive and now they're just starting to get ridiculous. They want to bring in unrealized capital gains tax, if you can believe it. Or in other words, we're just going to take money from you, You got any money? No? Or we're going to take it anyway. You got a piece of paper that says you have money, or we're going to take that as real money. How about that? Makes perfect sense. We have Amanda B and Past Master Dan in the house, the originator of many a Croft nickname. Sounds like California, says Awesome One. Yeah, a lot of what I say about, things that are going on here, and I say it on the internet, someone will come and says, oh, yeah, that's how it is in California. I think we actually, back during the pandemic, I think a lot of those governors, California, Oregon, that Colorado, they were all praising our premier, and we all call him Dictator Dan. Well, those of us who are smart anyway. They were like, oh, he's leading the world. What is up, Cranberry Lanches? Yeah, preemptive taxes. That is exactly it. We're going to tax you in case you make money at some point down the road. I mean, people have no idea. I'm not saying that the system right now is working. It ain't working. Something does have to be done, but it's so frustrating because no one wants to actually do what needs to be done because everyone's such short-term thinkers now. People can only think about what's going to happen this quarter or next quarter. And I think that's why Trump with the tariffs and everything is such a big deal because he's the first person in a long time to come along and think, no, we got to think about the generations to come. This guy's got a hell of a shiner. Ella really gave him a good wallop. I want to highlight that. It's not happening in Australia right now, but they want to bring it in. They're talking about it. Because on paper, Australians are the richest people on earth, on paper. And it's so frustrating because in reality, we're like cash poor, No one can afford anything. Everyone's struggling just sort of day to day because everything is so expensive and wages are stagnant. But say for instance, you owned a home, you see the old boomer story. Oh, I bought a home in 1974 for a donkey and a cart of yogurt or something, and now it's worth $2 million. Like, everybody in Australia who owns property is a millionaire. Unless you own like a tiny apartment in, a new apartment in a smaller city, you might only be worth, I don't know, 700,000 or something on paper, but everyone else is a millionaire. So we're like, oh, we're super rich, but it's all on, on a bank statement somewhere. It's not real. It doesn't exist. How is Australia the richest? Because of the crazy property market and superannuation. So we get a huge portion of our income we don't even see it. It just gets taken and put into what is essentially a 401k, but it's highly restricted, and there's lots of things you can't do with it. So most Australians who've been working a normal job, some from the age of, say, 19, 20, they will have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Some people have millions of dollars in their super accounts. So, but again, you don't have access to it. It's there. So you're rich. I'm rich. I'm probably considered to be in the 1% because of this money that I have no access to. And, it's the same all over the world. No one's retiring. That's done. Retirement, that ain't happening. That's over. And, of course, they get there's going to be inheritance tax and all these other taxes and things. It's hashtag blame sumo, hashtag cash cow bankrupt. I wish I had cash. I used to have cash. That's what's so cool about playing poker for a living. You have cash. And that's actually one thing that is fantastic about Australia, is there's no tax on winnings. Any winnings of any kind, there's no tax. Do you know in the States, you win I won $2 billion and ended up with 900 million after taxes. In Australia, if you win $2 billion, you got $2 billion in your bank account. Now the government will tax you on any interest earned. That is true, but you get the money. So it's the same with poker. If you win at poker, you get to keep that money. That's just it. So that's good. But playing poker I think I did it for longer than I thought I did. I thought it was only a couple of years, but I think it was more like 4. It was a bit of a a taxation black spot on my record. Poker, yes, exactly. The old game. The great game. All right. We get taxed for everything. Yeah. You guys in the States, you do get taxed for everything, but I think the taxes are lower than most places around the world. I don't know. It's different in every country. We get taxed on a lot of stuff as well, but we don't get taxed on others. But most people aren't making any money gambling, for example, so it's not really they're really missing out on any tax burden or anything like that. I'm going to do her nose here. Tax us even when we did. Yeah, we do that here too. We also get tax for either property tax or sales tax. We have property tax here, and they just keep digging into it. You know, they're just like, "Ooh, more of that property tax. Thank you very much." And everyone is feeling it, from owners to renters, and it's just a disaster. You might want to actually line this up. And Trump was talking about it the other day, how before 1920, the states, you didn't have income tax. Roads still got built, things still got done. Now we have the welfare state. All these programs need paying for. Who's going to pay it? That's where the Pareto principle kicks in. What is it? 20% of the productivity, 80% of the productivity is thanks to 20% of the population or whatever. Something like that anyway. It's crazy when you learn that and then you see that everywhere, just in everything. 20% of the whatever is doing 80% of the whatever, and it's roughly true, no matter what. You can tithe from your card now. Speaking of cards, I'm sure that's not what you were talking about. Check it out. In this box, what's in the box? In this box, 35 single trading card sets packed individually, plus some extras in case any get lost or damaged. Sending these over to RJ tomorrow. It's nicely packed, lots of padding all around. They won't get Boxcroft, yes. And then that will be it. Everyone else's got sent out. Nearly dropped it. Everyone else's got sent out yesterday. Thank you, Mel. The Pareto principle, Ellie? I thought it was the Pareto. Doesn't really matter. No, I forgot what I was talking about. But yes, that is, when sometimes you're working on something and it takes so much longer than you were thinking it was going to, and you just want to get it done. That was me and the trading cards. The trading cards were supposed to be just a fun little thing to do on the side. And they, because I'm an idiot, and I decided I was going to, I'm going to be really clever and put a comic on the inside. Hey, well, aren't I cool? And then, months later, you're like, oh my God. You'd think you'd learn. You would think you would learn. But as a human being, I just mean. But you don't. We don't learn. We just think it'll be different this time. And it never is. It's, that's the fun of it. Great quote from the who's that Japanese fella who makes all the Studio Ghibli animations. He said, the struggle is what you want in life. That's what makes things more interesting. I think I have to agree. I've always daydreamed, like we were talking about earlier, imagine you're that guy who wins $2 billion. It's going to be really hard after that point to get motivated about anything. Like, what are you going to do at that point? You have $2 billion now. assuming you live in Australia. It's supposed to hurt. Exactly. It's supposed to be hard. The hard is what makes it great. Underrated movie, by the way. A League of Their Own. Highly recommended. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, you got your $2 billion. Miyazaki, thank you. I will never remember that, Rocky. And thank you for coming and hanging out. I saw you were streaming earlier. I apologize. I streamed right over the top of you, but I slept in. So spend it on charity and lifting other people up from poverty. No, if you mean just giving it away. Yes, if you mean investing in people. Say, for instance, I mean, let's look at comics. You find someone who's struggling, but you can see they have huge talent and potential. And you're like, I'm going to give you 50 grand a year so that you can, whatever it is, whatever amount you want to give them a year so that you can live and survive and not have to worry about paying the bills. And then on top of that, build your business, build your thing, like build your whatever, that sort of stuff. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. No, I mean, like getting people jobs and creating your, yes, exactly. Yes. 100%. So I think you would have to, if you got your $2 billion, you would have to like really, you couldn't just live because that would just be a really weird existence, just what are you going to do? Just hang out with rich people and do nothing? No, you'd need projects, big projects that no one else could do. I think that's what Elon Musk does. I think that's what he sort of figured out. He's like, I got all this money, I want to do things with it. I want to be this, guy who makes whatever, the Boring Company and AI and integrated friggin' nanotech and fly to Mars and all this sort of stuff. I mean, you can't do that with just 2 billion, but you could build it up. But, just say, like, for me, I was like, oh, I used to play poker and that was a thing. And, the struggle, all of that would be gone if you had that kind of money. You'd have to do something else. Setting your sights higher, achieving something more in the world. Yeah, it's a rare opportunity, a very rare opportunity indeed to have $2 billion handed to you. What are you going to do with it? Life's purpose is to create goals and achieve your ambitions and never stop. That was Ellie, not me. I didn't say that. But I agree with it. That is what's best in life. Yeah, people who have no passions, nothing to sort of work towards or do, you better have, someone else. Like you can be, say, a mother, and then your passion is, what your children are doing, raising them. But I think, that's what's gone wrong with a lot in the world, is you got people who have nothing and no one and nothing to drive them, nothing to keep them busy. And then you get modern society. What's up, Phil Diaz? People don't do well without goals. Have you noticed a lot of modern society is just trying to get people to do what their nature, the opposite of what their nature wants them to do, Like, well, take young women, for example. How about instead of doing what, your body wants you to do, how about you lock yourself up in a cubicle for 8 hours every day and waste your young years doing that, so that you can, at the end of it, say you've got a career and yourself, sufficient or whatever. I've noticed that. Ellie says, John Byrne is the perfect example. He released X-Men Elsewhere, a 32-issue run for free, and it's like reading 80s Marvel all over again. It's a masterpiece. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I got to check that out because I've heard about this here and there. He's just doing it because that's what he loves. Yeah? X-Men Elsewhere. 32 issues. All right, I'm going to read that. And I can actually, it fits onto my thing because it is independent. It is creator owned. Well, not owned, but it's creator made. It's not corporate. X-Men Elsewhere. Is it Elsewhere or Elsewhere? Phil says, what I've learned in recent years is life is all about the struggle. Working through that is how you build. Weightlifting is a great analogy. It is all about the struggle. We got this from Miyazaki. That's what he said. And I think that's what a lot of the whole thing with the AI is. If there's no struggle in the creation, then it doesn't feel like it's worth anything, And that's what I think a lot of people don't get about something like Bitcoin, because they just see it as, oh, that's just a thing that people say is worth something, but isn't really. But they don't actually understand what goes into it. Whereas, it's not like just picking a shell up off the beach and saying, here, this is worth $10 now. It is a very different thing. There's like we instinctively put value into things that take effort and struggle and time to create. That's a big thing. The time to create something, we value that because we value time. And if you're someone who's super talented, we value your time more than someone who isn't super talented. And I think that's like underpinning a lot of what people say when they're like, I don't feel anything, even though the end result looks really good. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't. And that's hard to articulate. Jim Cox, 5 memberships. Thank you very, very much. Let me pull you up and honor you, sir. 34 members, a 34-month member. Thank you very much. Just gifted 5 new memberships to Chris Ari, Athaline, Death Metal Hero, Jay Lee, and Sim. All people we know and love. Not no bigs today, but soon. One day soon.
You little ripper!
He also says, I would buy gift memberships if I was rich. Yeah, the gift memberships do help out an absolute ton. Like, they really do. You know what it is? It's sort of like the whole kind of monetizing the process and everything, which is part of it. What it does is it helps justify my time to be able to do this stuff. It's like I always say, I'm going to do it anyway. It just becomes harder, a lot harder, and it becomes harder to justify to my family, especially if it's like, well, maybe we'll make some money off it one day. That's like a harder sell than, but I'm getting X amount every month, So thank you very much. It really does matter. All right, where am I up to here? Yep. Done. Shoes aren't done. Creation is also making something which previously didn't exist. That gives it rarity. Very true. Yeah, there's something that really resonated with me reading Dune was they completely eschewed computer, smart computers. Essentially, that was not a thing in that world, and they understood that there's something about that's not not human, and I like that. I thought that was good, and that was written a long time ago. Happy Good Friday, everyone! It's sundown. Does that mean it's Good Friday at sundown? I thought maybe it works like that. I don't know. Rarity equals value, says Cranberry Angels. That's why you hope you get a rare or ultra rare card. I have a stack there. They sent me extras. I got to keep them in case anyone's rare card gets damaged in transit, which I don't expect to happen, but you never know. But yeah, they're just sitting there, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to destroy these at some point, and it just goes against every fiber of my being. But the more that are out there, the less rare they are, the less special they are. Oh, yeah, I've got to do these guys down here. I got to figure out how to do this dog, by the way. I'm not going to do it like where was the other one I did? I'm not going to do it like that because that did not look good. Where was I? Nope. There. Way behind, Croft, says Passmart. What am I behind on? Phil says, tomorrow we're giving away special Easter shell bean at the Diaz Brothers show. What will make it Easter? Is it just because it's on Easter, or it's actually you're going to hand paint it like an Easter egg? We got Sim in the house. Oh, he's here because he probably got gifted a membership. The system works. He says, first 100 backers of a physical Hellzone book get a free sketch card. Sim is a madman. Look at that. And he's got the link right there. 78-page action-packed sci-fi horror. You'll see. Good Friday is the day I do an Ice Cube Friday marathon. I presume you're talking about the wrapper and not just the actual literal ice cubes. I presume, but assume. What's the difference between to presume and assume? Is there a difference? I'm sure there would be. Phil brings Louis onto the show. That would be actually epic. If you could get Louis to come in one night, Phil, that would actually be very cool. I mean, it could go completely off the rails, but it would be cool. Louis always seems to be in somewhat of a confused state whenever you ask him a question. Something I've noticed. Presume means to believe something is true on likely evidence or to take for granted. Okay, that's different from assume, which suggests a belief with less evidence. In a legal context, it means accepting something is true until proven otherwise, like presumed until proven guilty. There you go. It's a subtle difference, but important. Louis in the arcade every day for free water and candy bars. Yeah, get him to come in a bit later and join the show. Tell him he's a celebrity. Does he know he's a celebrity? Does he know people tune in, week out? to see what his favorite whatever is? Does he know you're harassing a beloved elderly member of the community for clicks? Free candy bars, says Dal. I want to go to this arcade now. Yeah, what free candy bars do you get there? Ellie says, Phil is Louis. What's your favorite arcade? He says, Snickers. Jabby Jab. Very Louis. I like Snickers. Louis could be the Chicago mayor. How's the mayor doing at the moment? I don't know. Phil and Brandon seem to love living in Chicago. They say it's the bee's knees. I guess it all depends on where you live. When I flew over Chicago, I was blown away by how beautiful the houses were. I mean, just stunning. Like a friggin' out of a postcard. It did not look like the Chicago I'd been led to believe. So I guess I didn't fly over the hood, essentially. But very rich, very fancy pants. Couldn't do any worse, says Awesome One. Seems to be the way these days. Chicago is dope. Come to C2E2 if you ever get the chance. Well, you know I would, Phil. You know I would. But it's kind of far away. You know Dean's over there. Dean was here in the chat earlier. He's in the States right now. He's going to be going to HeroesCon. Someone was wondering if he eloped with Ali, but I don't know if that's just a rumor. I'm not going to presume that to be true. I'm not even going to assume it, actually. Yeah. So, I mean, I never met Dean either, even though we are supposed to live, you know, quite close to each other, live in the same city. I never actually, you know. At least we got one Aussie. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you just never know, you know. Times are good, then times are tough. This bloody cost of living in Australia is just, it's insane. It's insane. It's just skyrocketed over the last 2 years. Noah lives north of me, says Ellie, but he's like 17, and that would be weird to meet him. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't want to meet Noah either. Yeah. You know, you'd be there, and their parents would be there. You'd be like, can Noah come out to play? And they were like, we're calling the police. And then even if you were hanging out with him, he'd just be chatting about this chick he's been, you know, trying his riz with. It'd be super weird. I can barely watch his streams, says Phil. Meet him in person, dead. What's up, Sheldon? Great to see you here. We're I do not have to go to work today, so as long as people watch, I'm gonna be working anyway. So we're just hanging out. I'm trying to be productive as best I can. I would have already been at work for 45 minutes by now, were it a regular day. I can't watch Noah stream, says Amanda. He privates them all. Well, I mean, if you are interested in the love life of a awkward 17-year-old soft-spoken boy, they could be for you. If you're not, they're probably not. And he's always whispering, which is just sort of off-putting. Because he doesn't want to wake his parents up, I guess. Does he even do draw streams anymore? All I see is him just sitting around chatting about some girl that is in love with him. Bancroft living the soft life while the rest of us slave away. I'm sure you're not going to be working on Good Friday either, Edwin. Or are you? I do have quite a cushy job. That is true. I will not deny it. But it allows me the flexibility to work on my comics. So no days off for me, Bancroft, says Edwin. Well, what can I say? Bless you. Bless you for your labor and productivity. Still drawing, but not on streams, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, the draw streams, they're not big crowd pleasers, but I mean, who cares? Who cares? All right, these dogs. All right. Nice colors, Bancroft, says Apex. Thank you. I mean, these are just the beginnings. I'm doing this mask here. That's how I do my do the cut and grad. So I've got this masks going. But I've got these 5 pages. I showed them off earlier that I want to be part of the campaign. So there's that one. If it's gonna, all right, it's crapping out on me. Ah, what the hell? Yes, come on. All right, Photoshop is like, calm down. That one. Yeah. I need to get them finished and the 2 covers and a campaign up in a month and 10 days. Can I do it? I guess I have to do it. There's no real choice. But thank you. What's with this Laughing Man Robin Hood review, Bancroft? Are you talking about how I start off the video? I mean, sometimes when I just don't have time to do a short or whatever, that's what I like to do them anyway. I will cut down my streams into a video. Sometimes they do really well. Other times they just don't do anything. But you never know. One of them got 10,000 views. So I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Probably should keep that up. 10,000 views on a comic book video ain't nothing to laugh at. But at the start, I do like to put a little clip, a sort of a humorous clip. Well, as humorous as there is. at the beginning. You can do it, Bancroft, says Jay Ryan. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for the vote of confidence. I do feel like I've been slacking a little bit over the last week, but I have been fulfilling, so there's that. All right, how to do this with fur? I don't know. Let's just get in here and again, this is what I don't want to do. I don't want to do that because I did that last time and I don't think it looks good. So let's not do that this time. Where's my page? So I think less little bitty stuff and just kind of treat it like it's more of a single thing. Let's see how we go. Figure it out. Just kind of treat it like it's with skin, but with a little bit more stuff on it, you know? Sort of. It's like a hairy person, I guess. Awesome says, French fries almost done baking. Are you using an air fryer? Because if you aren't, what are you doing with your life? If you don't have an air fryer in 2025, I don't know what's going on. No, poor man's bake. Air fryers are not expensive. I mean, I know they don't come with a house. Like most houses will come with an oven, but you can get them, you know, pretty cheap now. And they are literally the best. And I don't use that word lightly. I call my children out for you saying literally too much. It's not something you want to say very often, but air fryers are game changers. It's one of those things where you're like, what did we do before air fryers? Nice try. Nobody likes fried air, says Sheldon. I don't have a blender in 2025, says Cranberry Langes. Well, I mean, if you're not blending anything, you don't really need a blender. But everyone cooks things. And, you know, at least I assume. I think this is okay. A bit better. My last attempt. I really just need to find the Terminator line is really what I'm looking for. Once I've got that, then everything else is fine. All this can just sort of, you know, come one. Yeah, I gotta get an air fryer and a Julian fries maker. What's Julian? I know I've heard that before. I don't really know what it is. Is that like McDonald's style, really thin? Overthinking now. Yeah, thin fries. I like more personally, unless it's actually from McDonald's, I personally prefer big, thick, chunky, deli-style wedge type thing. That's my personal preference. I don't know if they're popular where you're from. Dinner time, says Awesome One. I might be here afterwards. I might not be. I don't know. I might get sick of using my voice. I'm not normally a talker. But I do like hearing all your thoughts on various whatnots. I think this is working out a lot better than the last one I did. That one just hurts my eyeballs. What's up, Jim? Great to see you here. Oh, yeah, we call them steak fries, and they're great. Oh, there you go. A regional dialect. We call them wedges. You can get them with, see, others. So if you go to like a thin fry, you don't want, and we call them chips, by the way. I'm just indulging my American audience here. You just have them, with salt or whatever. But if you get the thick cut wedges, you can have all sorts of funky stuff on them, like rosemary and garlic and other things I don't really know about. Let me just give a little bit of. So it looks like he's kind of yelling here. Like that. We also have potato wedges, which are thick and more rounded. Man, this takes a long time. Everyone always says coloring takes the longest. I don't know if that's true because people kind of forget. They don't lump all the art making together in one. So like thumbnailing, penciling, inking, whatever you do, they think of those as separate things. But if you put the art making process all in one, it is probably a longer process. But coloring does seem to take a long time. What's up, party people? We got Michael Odin in the house. What's up, Michael? Hope you were doing well on this fine, about to be Friday. It's Friday here already. Zoom out a bit there. Catch my bearings. I think I'm getting the hang of this. Dog hair. Is it? It's dog hair, yeah. It's not fur. Again, another one. What's the difference between fur and hair? And what does a dog have? I would say hair, because when I think about it, I'm like, people would say, oh, there's dog hair everywhere. You don't say there's dog fur everywhere. But you would say a dog is furry, like a furry dog. I like languages. It interests me. Here's a good question. I think dogs have hair. Dog fur, or it is fur. Horse hair, lion's mane. I think they're all interchangeable. Yeah, here's something I learned. My daughter is learning German just by herself. She's already bilingual. She wants to be trilingual and eventually more. But I learned German when I was a bit older than her. But yeah, she's doing quite well. Anyway, my son is sort of picking up on it as well. And he's like, I don't know any German words. I said, yes, you do. You know a ton of German words. You just don't know that they're German. And I looked it up. There's over 700 common German common words that both English and German are exactly the same. Did you know that? So everyone in here knows at least 700 German words. At least. That's a lot of words. If you knew what they were, you might be able to, not be able to get by, but at least be able to articulate something to a German. Guten Tag, says Ellie. Yeah. Well, that's, and there's thousands more that like Tag or Guten or Gut that are similar to English. So actually learning German vocabulary is actually pretty no, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's simpler for an English speaker. And considering she knows French as well, she probably knows even a lot more. I don't know the French to German thing. I don't know if that's a thing. Probably is. I assume it would be. Non-Realm says, dude, it's insane. If you watch any German show or anything, it's actually pretty easy to figure out a lot of stuff without subtitles. Yeah, and there's also a cool trick in French. There's actually a bunch of cool tricks in French that means you can pretty much read any French as an English speaker if you know like 5 little tricks. Any French. If you just swap out certain letters, it becomes very understandable. It's quite fun, actually. Cranberry says, I'm studying German, Spanish, and French right now. It took me 4 years to learn German and then about 6 months to become fluent when I was there. Maybe not 6 months, maybe 4 months. You really got to be immersed in it. Plus, for German, there's a bunch of rules that if you know them, automatically shift to English words. Yeah. They're I wouldn't say it's similar, but it's, it's manageable if you have the willpower to learn it. English has a lot in common with French and German, whereas German is not from the same linguistic etymology tree. It's hilarious when you watch those videos of everyone, all these European languages, and they're all very similar, and they pick words that are completely different in German. It's funny. Hojo says, well, I speak Jive. Is there a big Jive community where you live? What I always like is when white people learn Chinese and then they go to China and freak Chinese people out. Lots of them do that. It's quite entertaining. See, that is way better than what I did here. I suppose I could pretty easily fix that up just by making it less mangy. Might be fine. Let's get rid of a lot of the stuff. Might be all right. I'll have to go back. Fix it up a bit. Sadly, though, with any language, If you don't use it, you lose it. And that's what happened with me in German. It's funny how much I do recall, but I think I'd have to go back for a full year, really immerse myself to get back to any kind of decent level. I always wonder if it is locked away in some file somewhere in my head. I just don't have access to it anymore. Michael says English is a kind of weird hybrid of Germanic and Romance languages, more than likely due to its origin in England, where you had a blend of those cultures. Well, yeah, there's a great TV documentary on YouTube you can watch. It's called The History of English, and it goes through everything like that, and how when the Normans invaded and French became the language of law and business and aristocracy, then you can see how all these words changed and how we've got double words in English for things because of that. Like, for instance, we've got cow, which is same as the German Kuh, and we've got beef, which is the same as the French bœuf. So we've got tons of stuff like that where it's just like we take two different words for essentially the same thing, and make something of it. It's backed up on my mental hard drive. I like to think it is, Jay. I like to think it is. I just need to unlock it. I like to think of it as the files are there, but the pathways have been forgotten or corrupted somehow due to, like a hard drive will erode if it's not, over time. Like, that's how I think of it. And then the files are still there. They might be a little bit eroded, but I just need to reforge that link. Michael says, it's tough, man. I couldn't speak French with any sort of fluency at this point, but it's still a good bit. Yeah, I'm exactly the same at it. My French is extremely basic. I find it incredibly difficult. Grammy says, yeah, English, it's an amalgam language. It really is. Ellie says, if you travel back 1,000 years, you wouldn't understand them at all. Yeah, the vowel shift. I think that came in about 800 years ago or something. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, that changed everything. There's a guy who is all just about languages. He's a Brit living in Germany, I think. Great YouTube channel. He does little videos on whatever. Why the colors are named the way they are, or why the months are named the way they are. A really good channel. If you're into languages. This is what it sounds like when doves cry. They've done studies on cab drivers and Uber drivers and delivery boys and stuff, and their brains actually rewire to have more of a map system to know where they are when looking at maps. There you go. Have you heard that plotting the optimum route or route, I don't know how you guys say it, on a map becomes impossible for a computer to manage after about like 5 or 6, I don't know what the number is. It's some small amount of points on a map. It becomes impossible for even a supercomputer to manage to find the optimum path, because there's just too many computations. And if they were to be able to unlock it with sort of like brute force quantum computing, it would be the end of all encryption as we know it, or something like that. So that's like so surprising and weird that is what stumps supercomputers, It seems like it isn't true, but it actually is. It was like I was playing poker and I said to my friends this factoid that I'd learned, that there are more ways to shuffle a deck of cards than there have been seconds in the universe since its inception, and you could shuffle a deck of cards for trillions of years and still never get the same shuffle. And they were like, nah, there's no way that's true. And it is true. It's so counterintuitive. We've got Sumo Thori in the house. That's 100 gig forward for sure. There's a lot of memory in this noggin of mine. Yeah, that's why files get lost. Thank you, Sumo. Exactly. I can tell that to Mel. I'm like, look, this is too much stored information in here. Like these weird factoids that they stay in there, but birthdays and other things, they go missing. Felix says, please sign up to the Lucent Fractured Mind mailing list. Just like with the trading cards, if you are on the mailing list, there will be discounts to be had that others will not be privy to. There'll be a coupon code and whatnot. I don't know if that's correct. I think that's probably a bit too busy, but let's just block that out for now. See how that goes. I have no idea how I'm going to light these pigeons, by the way. I could be completely wasting my time here, but we'll see. I mean, it's going to be difficult because I want the street to be, glowing in orange light, and then the top of the buildings are dark because, contrasted with the street. But I've got to light her somehow. I'm thinking maybe kind of like moonlight. We'll see. We'll see how we go. Jay says, I heard you saved a lady locked in a bathroom the other day, Sumo Thori. What happened? I didn't hear this. I know this page, says Miromi. You own it. You should know it. It is yours. When I framed it for the first time, I actually accidentally framed it upside down. Oh, well, she could be flying instead of diving. A haze around the edges of the bird, says Cranberry Langes. I'll figure something out. I've got it right here, actually. I can just turn it on. I've got a cool reference of Batman here. I like this stuff. See this kind of glowing edge? I like that. I don't do that enough. It sort of glows over the top. This is way more painterly than I do. So I'm not going to get into all that. I'm not going to start doing stuff. When I started a more painterly coloring style. but then I stopped because it was just taking too long. But I do like that, and I mean, this is what is this? Sunrise, sunset. So it's not quite the same. But I like the blues and the yellows and stuff anyway. It wasn't me. It was a meme video. Oh. Yeah. Yes, I like that. Yeah, it's a great piece of art. I don't know whose it is. It's Tony Daniel. And Tom Mooney. Yeah. I mean, I no one would be able to guess my name from my signature either, so I can't really say anything. Let's get some Ella in here. That's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. What's that? Tony Danza. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, I thought it looked like Tony's work. You know, he was a very influential artist of the 80s. Really jack of all trades. I don't know. Okay, so I'm guessing. So she would be. It's going to be tricky. So what do I want to do? I guess. I mean, the shadow is here, so we're talking moonlight coming in from here. However that would be. So I'm guessing sort of the side, these would be lit up like this, maybe. It doesn't really matter. You're casting a shadow over a palm. Because the shadow is there, so I might actually be doing multiple sources of light for her. It is a bit of a, it's the first page, it's the introduction. Do something a bit special with it. Who's the boss? Yeah. Fantastic Batman artist. Didn't you know that? You don't know that, Rocky? Oh my God, where have you been? I used to love Who's the Boss. Ask me anything about it, I wouldn't be able to tell you anything. Not a single thing. Apparently, I used to love what's the show where they have the car, you know, with the Confederate flag on the top? Apparently, I used to love that too. No memory. None. I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Although I do remember the A-Team. Dukes of Hazzard, yes, thank you. But all of those shows, the only ones I think I remember from that era, or maybe it was a bit later, was Full House. I do remember that. But I think that was a bit later. Was that sort of more in the time of Home Improvement? Because I remember that one as well. I remember Home Improvement. I remember Roseanne. I remember Full House. I remember Saved by the Bell. But I don't remember Who's the Boss or other ones similar to that. Boob lighting. Flip her around here. Flip her over. In a tasteful way. Who played the male protagonist in Who's the Boss? Is that Tony Danza? I know Kirk Cameron was in one of them. Was that Who's the Boss? What one was Alyssa? What's her face in? Because I had a major crush on her when I was a kid. I think everyone did. Bancroft, did you see the Fantastic Four trailer today? I saw that people were looking at it, but I did not stop to look at it myself. That's the sort of thing I'm going to show to Rob, because Rob has opinions. We're doing a new show, Sumo, whereas, you know, like with the art share, I show art to Rob. I'm going to do that, but with just other stuff as well. Like interesting stuff, you know? I'm not saying art isn't interesting. I'm saying just other stuff that isn't art as well. Even campaigns and stuff. Because Rob has strong opinions that I don't hold. He can say things that I just don't even think about. We just need a name for the show. Something that encapsulates his unique outlook on the world. Tony Danza was in Taxi too. I never watched Taxi. I think that was a little too far before my time. Although I did watch Welcome Back, Kotter, and that was way before my time. Growing Pains. Tony Danza was the bartender in Cheers? I did not remember that. I remember Woody Harrelson being the bartender in Cheers. Spin City was good. Was Spin City the one with David Spade and God, I can't remember. Feldman? What's his name? Sumo Thori was the bartender. Cheers, says Jolly. Now that's more believable. I think you guys are pulling my leg. Between two Aussies? What is that? Ted Danson was great in Becca. I used to watch Becca. My God, I used to watch so much stuff. I don't watch hardly anything anymore. Although I watched Fallout, the TV show, which is really good. I mean, I've never played Fallout. I know a lot of people said it's not the same, but I thought the show was great. Even had heterosexuals having sex in it. I was like, what on earth? What is this? What year is this? Pull Rob's leg. All right. Okay. Between two. All right. I see what you're saying. You're giving me names for the show now. Right. I get you. I get you. I'm giving you good titles for your new show, Dummy. I know, right? I know. Thank you, Sumo. Might have to do some kind of vote. We'll figure it out. You know, we might not name it. We'll just start it, and then these names can come about kind of through the chat. And I found that with YouTube, the best thing to do often is just to start. But remember, we used to do the Rob and Mike show on his channel. And that was all just about crowdfunding and stuff. And it'd sort of be the opposite of that. Because on that one, it was Rob posing questions to me, and I would get all uncomfortable. Because he wants me to get in trouble with people. You know, everyone is super not sensitive in comic books. This show would be just like whatever interesting thing I found that week, like a whole bunch of them, and I just show them to Rob and get his unique perspective on them. Kind of like Ricky Gervais and Carl Pilkington, kind of. Ted Danson was great in Angels in the Outfield. You know, I don't know if everyone's pulling my leg. I don't know if I've even seen that. So I'll just take your word for it, K-pop. I only very recently watched Rudy, which is crazy because I'm a fan of Sean Austin and I'm a massive fan of baseball, sports movies. This is a football movie, but I have not seen Angels in the Outfield. I love Ted Danson in Dune. That's right. I feel like you guys are just yanking my chain now. I feel like you're making things up to make me look foolish and ignorant. The joke's on you. I'm already foolish and ignorant. Everyone knows that. Ted Danson made Dune. Rudy was real, but that movie is all fiction. I didn't know that. I just watched a movie. Rob is better than Carl, says Sumo. I agree. I agree. But, I mean, how good would it be to do a... Do you ever see that TV show with the two English actors who travel around the countryside doing impersonations? Great show. That would be perfect with me and Rob, you know, traveling around Australia, just sampling what life has to offer, and Rob just hating every second of it and just being completely unimpressed with everything. You call this an old growth rainforest? I mean, what is it? You know? If we had that kind of time and budget. I mean, waterfalls, right? You've seen one, you've seen them all. Ted Danson was crucial to Dune as well as Fellowship of the Rings. Cranberry Langes. I just don't think that's the case. I mean, I like Ted Danson as much as the next bloke, you know? I think he was a pivotal character in Three Men and a Baby, and then later on, Three Men and a Little Lady. You know, he was a classic, famous 80s and then 90s sitcom star. I just don't see he was at the center of, you know, cinematic masterpieces like you guys are trying to portray. What's up, Don? Great to see you here. A crime was committed this day, and the victim was Ted Danson's amazing career. He must be getting old, Ted Danson. I haven't seen him in a while. You know when actors retire and you don't see them for 15 years and then they just get, you know, photographed somewhere and they're like, Ted Danson's shocking decline or whatever, you know. Like, I think he's just old and that's normal. What was cool was Pierce Brosnan. You see him in that suit looking like literal James Bond. Like, what the hell is going on with Pierce Brosnan? He's literally James Bond. Danson is so old, like elderly old. All right, we're going to have to do this. We've Dansoned this stream up. Ted Danson 2025. He's not. He looks great. I mean, as how old is he? How old is Ted Danson? How old is Ted Danson? He's 77. If any of us look like this at 77, I mean, you got to be happy. Where am I? Look at him. Maybe he did create Dune. Maybe he is the secret creative powerhouse behind Lord of the Rings. That's it. People just aren't look at it. Is that his wife? He's done well for himself. People just aren't aging like they used to, you know? Might be plastic surgery, but he looks better than I do, says Grant Religious. Paul says Becca was his best TV show character. Becca was good. I saw a clip of that the other day. I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot this show ever even existed. Is that who he's married to? That woman? Looks like it is. I didn't even know that. There you go. Good on you, Ted. Good job. Good job, Teddy boy. I thought we were talking about Tony Danza this whole time, says Jolly. It is the mum from Step Brothers, yeah. And was she also in... Was that the same woman as Back to the Future 2? Was that her? I feel like she's a famous actress. She was great in that movie, by the way. What the fuck? Bit of a shadow here. Back to the Future 3. You are correct. Not Back to the Future 2. Yeah, the one in the Wild West, which people don't like for some reason. I love that movie. I don't. If I'm gonna watch Back to the Future, like a Back to the Future movie, I'll probably watch the third one. To be honest, like I feel like the first one is such a classic, but I've seen it so much, and it is a very sort of straightforward, movie. I would not watch Back to the Future 2. It's too depressing. It was like that dystopian future. Oh, that was awful. So I would watch the third one because it's fun. Yeah, they go in the Wild West and they're shooting things and it's good. The ending is weird. The kid pointing to his junk. Did they ever figure out what that was? The kid pointing to his little package there? Did they ever find out what that was about? Or is it just a Hollywood mystery? I would watch 1 or 3. 2 is like a combo of 2 movies. Yeah. Everything works out in the end, but to get there, you got to go through that hellscape. And you're like, I get it. It's a perfectly good movie. It's just... If I'm watching Back to the Future, I'm not really looking to be depressed, Like the House of the Future, a lot of that stuff ended up being true. I don't know I can't remember if Rod drew a moon in this. I think he might have. So if this is moonlight, normally you would have a moon. But I can't remember if we actually have a moon in the sky. Because I do have a note. We do. All right. Well, I guess it's established. I'm ending my no moon policy in the Lucent. End of an era, I suppose. There is a moon on a future page. Ellie says, Danson played the DeLorean in the original Back to the Future. You get into the Ted Danson. He's just full of witty quips. His dry, sardonic delivery. Man, he was a very versatile actor, that Ted Danson. What are we talking about? Just whatever. I'm relying on you guys. If you guys want to talk about anything, just say it. We can go there. Within reason. Yeah, I don't know. How did I have a start with a no moon policy? I think it started as a Kyle Ritter and I were doing some kayfabe, and at least I think it was kayfabe. And he wanted to put a moon in everything. He's like, yeah, stick a moon here, stick a moon there, and it'll be great. Like this giant moon, So you can get all these cool rim lights and everything. It's like, I don't think that's what I'm not trying to just not trying to moon up everything, you know? And then, you know, that sort of developed into a no moon policy. It's much like the no nip policy. Things just kind of skyrocketed. What's wrong with the moon? There's nothing wrong with the moon. It's just these things, they happen. Is Kyle Ritter still around? Kyle came back onto Twitter. He does this every year or so. It used to be every few months. It's a bit like Kelsey Shannon like that. He came back. He said hello to everyone. Everyone's like, "Oh, Kyle's back." I knew better. I knew he wasn't back. He just said hello and then it's gone again. Yeah, I think that's good. Yep. There's enough mooning going around. I know, right? Everyone has moons. You stick a moon on it. You know, it's like the easy way out. Let's learn to color without moons. Did you think of that? Did you ever think of that? How do we get clever here and not use the moon crutch? It just became a meme. We need a vote on the no nip policy. No nipples in Fractured Mind, by the way. So you can all sleep soundly knowing that. Rod was very understanding and stayed true to the vision. He did put in a lot of crotch shots though. Like a lot. You know, Ella's split leg bending over. Make of that what you will. I mean, she is wearing tights, leggings, whatever you want to call them. It's all tasteful. It's all tastefully done. Kyle Ritter does exist, believe it or not, Night Realms. He's still out there working. Have you ever danced with the devil by the pale moonlight? I do that regularly. I said that 2 days ago. 2 days ago, Michael. I picked up a pistol. I mean, a toy one. I pointed it at Clark and I said those exact words to him. And he just looked at me like I'm an idiot. He didn't know what I was talking about. He has not seen Batman. Yeah, stick a moon on it is a bit like stick a bird on it. Yeah, kind of like just throw a pigeon in there. And I didn't even ask for these pigeons. That was popularized by Shane, I think, who said that was advice from, I'm going to say, Hubert, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that was sort of the origin of the pull-out pigeon. Just pull out and throw a pigeon in there. They really do add. You know, she's up there with the birds. Oh, I forgot this bird. I didn't put any moonlight on him. Lol, that ain't right. Oh, there you go. See, I know nothing. I know nothing. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything. And everything I think I know, it's usually wrong. Let's see what I'm doing here. I like pigeons. People don't like pigeons. I like pigeons. I think they're misunderstood. I read a thing that said pigeons used to be our pets. We domesticated them in the same way that we domesticated dogs and cats. But then at some point, we decided they were gross and we didn't want to hang out with them anymore. And now they're like, but they're domesticated. So they live with us now. We did that to them. they're not. I mean, they're still kind of wild, but they have to live in the cities with us. And we're like, ew, gross, go away, get out of our cities. But they're like, no, you made us here. And now they're just forgotten. He says, no, I was laughing at what you'd said to Clark. Right, okay. Why would you threaten a child? Threaten to turn the child into Batman, Bancroft, because that would be cool. Have a Batman child. All right, that's that done. So I think that one's that done. We fixed the dog to a degree. We'll see how it looks when I do it up. Hang on. Hang on. No, is that good? Okay. We did all that. Yep. Good. Yep. I think that's all done. Oh my God, kicking goals. It fits that the poker player would be the Joker in that scenario. Exactly. Aha. Still work to do here. All right. I didn't even realize I was on that screen. That looks great. Which one looks great? Which one are you referring to? Let's do some Damon here. All the work. These are the pieces I'm going to be, these are the pages I'm going to be having on the campaign page. So I'm going to get them done. So everything that isn't going to be on the campaign page has been put to the side for now. And we are full steam ahead. Getting everything ready. It will be a challenge. I'm up for it. Ready to go. I'm ready to get back into the swing of things. Like I was saying, once you sort of take a little bit of a breather, oh my God, it's so hard to get back into productivity mode. But I've been there before. We'll do it again. The last few pages, not this one. You haven't gotten as far along on this one. No, yeah, I've got a ton to do here. You can see here from the thing. Got a bit to do. That would be in shadow. That would be in shadow. Probably just a little bit here, though. No, it's not. Now we'll leave that. We'll just put on his face. Like Sue, I think. Woo! Campaign it. It's going to be interesting. Maybe interesting to see. I feel like crowdfunding is just really, changed. Just the landscape has changed so much in the last year, even since, doing Painted Death. You see that guy came along and sold 200,000 copies. He's some YouTuber of his manga. I didn't look into it, but he's got 20 million subs or something. Good work if you can get it. Have you put a moon in it yet? Have you thought about putting a moon on it? Inside? Like right here? Inside the building? Probably not going to do that. Probably not. I mean, never say never. But they're in the building. The Manger, says Jay. What's up, Critical Reads? Thank you for joining us here as I work on my day off. I don't take days off. I don't like days off. I don't want a day off. I want a day to work on my comic, which is what I'm going to do. I think it would look great with a moon in the building, not to mention it would totally make sense. Well, you know, back in the day, very humorously, there was a war party issue. That's Professor Murph's book. There's a war party issue where the moon, the clouds were in front of the moon, and it did become kind of a thing. It was a bit of a funny meme. So there is precedent for moons being where they shouldn't be in this space. But inside a building, I mean, that's taking things a bit far. Maybe. Especially going from a no moon policy to a moon inside a building policy, it seems like a hell of a leap. You know? Is this a day off? Well, it is in Australia. It's Good Friday. I don't know what you guys do. This is actually one of the few days that we have where things are actually closed. Normally on public holidays, things are still open, but Good Friday is not like that. I don't know exactly what is open, but not much. Probably petrol stations, and that's about it. Well, I think it makes perfect sense. Not that kind of moon, Moromi. Michael says, yeah, 300 away from 4K on Elysian Fields to upgrade the main book to a lava holofoil, which is very exciting. That does sound cool. Is that the main? Yes, that would. Is that the that's your artist's one, isn't it? That's not the VK Marion cover, is it? I'm trying to remember here. Which one is which? It's funny, I'm seeing that guy around on different things now. I was like, I know that guy. He did a cover for Michael. That's how I know him. She was more famous on other things. V. Ken Marion. Yes. Cover will get the silver foil update. Where's my cards, Bancroft? They're in the... I mean, we can check them. I can check. I can actually check them. I have the technology. I know your number. Your cards are... One moment. These guys' cards, Sumo, they haven't even been sent yet. That's the... If you got the... If you got 35... sorry, there's 35 individual packs here going to the States. So if you're one of them, you have to wait. Because the post office is closed today, so I can't send it. I have to wait till tomorrow. Sumo is getting uppity in here. He's demanding to know where his cards are. I'm going to search. I'm going to tell him where they are. I'm going to tell him exactly where they are. They are Let's look. Dive in. They are received by our network. That's where they are. So I can't give you any more information than that, but yesterday they were received by the network at my local post office, hand delivered by Mel, and that's where they'll stay until they move. Oh, the network. The network has them in their clutches. So, yeah. How many did Sumo get? I think Sumo got, was it 5 or 4 from memory? Good chances. And for everyone who ordered, I think it was 4 or more sets, I did a little remark on their mailer, just because there weren't that many, so of varying qualities. And yeah, so I did draw a little something for our boy Sumo. I hope he appreciates the 30 seconds I spent on that. Treasures it. Treasures the artwork. But we'll see. He may not. He may just throw the whole thing in the garbage and say, what is this nonsense? What did Mrs. Bancroft and your kids think of your YouTubing, Bancroft? I mean, I try to tell Victoria that I'm a famous YouTuber, but she just doesn't believe me because she actually knows who famous YouTubers are. So they're not that impressed. But I said, no, I went to Tampa, and there was a guy in the elevator at the hotel on our way to the convention, and he was like, Bancroft? I was like, whoa, yeah, that was weird. And I was like, hi. He's like, yeah, I'm, such and such. But it's funny in Tampa, everyone gives you their real name because that's normal, when what's your name? Who are you? You give them your real name. But of course, you don't know them by their real name. So I was like, hi, I don't know who you are, but then he gave me his, avatar name. I was like, oh, now I know who you are. Your fake name. It was like that moment in Endgame or whatever. He was like, oh, we're using our, fake names. And I was like, yeah, see, I am famous. No, he literally said, yeah, I know who you are. You're a celebrity. Yeah. That's funny. A free doodle. Yes, very much a doodle. Well, you'll see when you get it, Sumo. I'd apologize for it ahead of time, but, once I'd started, there was no going back, I'm going to trade your cards for a first edition Charizard. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't you? Super mega rare. Huge fan base just chomping at the bits to get their hands on the latest Lucent trading card. It just makes good financial sense. Anyone using my username IRL, I would never respond to it. Yeah, but if someone doesn't know who you are, that's the only thing. Like, you can afterwards, once you're like, oh, I'm such and such, but in YouTube I'm that, then you go, oh yeah, okay, so I know who you are now. But yeah, after that, you use the real name. I get that. Yeah, I really wish I could have come to Heroes Con. It would have been fun. But, it would really just be to go over and meet people. I mean, we were talking about like getting a table. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to fly over with how many books I can fit into a suitcase. It just doesn't make sense. Have this completely barren table with just a couple of books sitting on it. YouTube names are our nom de guerres. Mine's less effective. It's literally just my company, but say la vie. Yeah. My handle is at the Lucent comic, which it's fine for me because I'm not planning on doing anything else. Whereas you've got other titles, so it's a bit, on X, you're Elysian Field, so it's a bit more limiting. What do I need to do? Just her? Her down there. What's going on here? Yep. Or hell, have a printer local to the convention print. There are tons of printers near lots of these conventions. I don't really have the cash for that. And as well, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even know. I don't know about selling at no conventions. Seems like a big gamble for me. I'm gonna get bigger. Maybe if I get a bigger library, get a bigger fan base, it starts to make a bit more sense. But at the moment, I'm not really thinking, oh yeah, people are going to come to a convention to see me and grab the Lucent. It's just not like, I don't think I'm there yet. I think that's something you kind of have to build up to. But I still would love to go and meet everyone. It really is cool because we've been hanging out online now for years. It was really cool in Tampa, and yeah, just so far away. What's Mike crying about? I'm not crying. Just saying. I'm just saying. I wish I could have come to Heroes Con. I was going to, and then I was saving up money, and then it was just like, no one is saving any money living in Australia at the moment. It's just not a thing. And it's more than that. Even if like I had the money, it would just be really difficult to justify me just popping off for a few weeks to do essentially a vacation, hanging out, and spend however many $1,000. Because again, I just don't see how I'd be able to set up a proper convention thing and bring everything over. This doesn't. I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it would work. I think more people will pick it up from the cool cover alone. Well, I agree. that would mean I'd have to actually take over the covers that I have, with the cool UV effect and everything. I agree 100%. I believe in the product. I believe in the book. I believe in what I made. But how am I going to get, and they're heavy too. They're all 100-page books. How many could I bring over? I don't know. How many can you fit in a bag? How many kilos do you get? Not many. But I am going to go check out the local comic convention here. I think it's called Oz Comic Con or something. It's happening in August. I'll check it out. I'm not going to do anything with it this year, but I'll go check it out, get the lay of the land, see what sort of crowd is there, see if people are selling books. And if they are, then yeah, I'll get started there and just get a little bit of experience under the old belt. Because I really don't know anything. I've been to one convention. I hear it wasn't a very good one. I mean, I had fun there, but everyone said it wasn't a great comic book convention. So I have no frame of reference. I'm just trying to get Bancroft to a show close enough for me to commute. You see, that's what I want to meet Michael. I want to meet all you guys. And plus, as well, the Aussie dollar is so low at the moment compared to the US. Everything would be crazy expensive for me. It's great for selling books to Americans that I print in Australia. That's a little bit extra profit, but it's not good for actually coming over there and trying to exist on an Australian wage. Not good. Well, a lot of comic book conventions until recently were less comic book conventions and more movie show centric. That's what I feel like it's going to be at the Australian Comic Con. But I want to go check it out anyway. I'm going to go check out the Artist Alley and see what the vibe is. I mean, everyone will have their own opinion, but until you go, you're not going to know. They don't charge fat people for extra weight. Why they charge excess baggage fees? A very good point, Romy. Very good point indeed. Local shows are awesome, says Raiden Radio. People love supporting locals to them. Well, this is a big convention. It's a huge one. It's not like a small thing. I don't even know if we have small comic conventions. I probably should look into it. Just haven't really done that. Be there virtually. Ask Rini to take your comics and a tablet. That would be, oh my god, that would actually be hilarious. That'd be cool. You could put me on a tablet. Hey there, you want to buy this comic? That's actually it. I would totally do that. I could be at the convention and be like, hey, can you move me a little bit over to the right so I can see there? And those ones that they're on, like, it's like a tablet on a little robot that moves around. That would be cool. RoboCroft. Oh my god. I should totally speak to them about it. That would be awesome. Like, hi there, guys. I'm here at the convention. If we can do that, I'm so doing that. That'd be hilarious. RoboCroft. All right. I think that's done. Am I missing anything? I mean, I think all this is sort of, if the light is coming in from this direction, he's sort of all in shadow there. So I don't have to do anything here. I mean, I suppose I could put a little bit more, there, but I don't want to do too much. Yeah, I think that would be in shadow. That is in shadow. Yep. A little bit down here, maybe. I'm going to message Rini today and see if she has a tablet, because that would be hilarious. Even if it was for 30 minutes. That would be funny. Oh no, Bancroft bot ran over a child. I am sorry. Logging off. Oops. You could have a little stand there. Could you imagine? That would be hilarious. You know what would be cool? If you could have because you can pay on an iPad now. You can do like Apple Pay or whatever. They've got that thing. You could, like, I could say, hey, so you want to buy the comic? It's this, that, and that, and then just pay. Just like put your card on my forehead. It'll pay. That would be great. It's the future. She doesn't use that. Well, Jake will be there. I wonder if he has one. I mean, it'd be cool to figure it out. The future is now. All right, I think this is all done. 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 We're done. 5 pages. All the masks done and dusted. The next thing will be the shadows. I done the shadows on one of these, I think. Maybe? No? All right, the next part will be doing the shadows, and then I've got to figure out what the palette is I'm going to do. Then the fun really begins. All right, everybody. I think that is going to be enough. You've had enough of me. 2 hours and 15 minutes. Oh, my God. You know what you could do is send over some sample books and maybe some cards with your website on it. Give it to someone at another convention to pass out and maybe talk about for you. That's an idea. I do like the tablet idea though. That would be just hilarious. My face staring up at you. Hi. It's like a sitcom. Be good. All right, everybody. Please do sign up. We've had Felix Huss has the link. It's there in the chat. It's also in the description. This will be going live in June. I don't have a date right now, but I will figure one out. I have 2 covers to do. I have these pages to finish. I think that's pretty much it. Everything else is already locked and loaded. I'll probably be doing a new t-shirt. Maybe. Probably. We'll see how we go. Is anyone else streaming? It's a kind of an awkward time to be live. So let's have a look. Who have I got here? Oh, a Lasmat. I never really raid into a Lasmat. I've got Pete is on with Art T Bear. That's something. But I don't think I've ever raided into a Lasmat. He's talking about Flip Thurman. Let's do that. Share the love. All right, everybody. That's it for me. I'll see you tomorrow. We're actually doing a launch tomorrow. Tales to Inspire at our normal time, 9 p.m. I hope to see you there. Anyone know if Creative Block is on tonight? I do not know. But I think it would be. Maybe. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Ask them. All right, guys. I will see you later. Have a good night. Bye.
Perth made an Australian video, and I wasn't even in it.
Emotional damage.